Good afternoon, everybody. This is Scott McMeans with the Business Spotlight. And I'm here today with Valerie Meyan with the Yellowcake Shop. And what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about Yellowcake Shop, Valerie's history, her road to success, and what makes the experience at the Yellowcake Shop so different and unique for you as a consumer. With that being said, Valerie, I'd love to introduce you to the audience. So take a step into the microphone and tell us all about yourself.
Sure. Thanks for having me. My name is Valerie Meyan. I am from Corpus Christi, Texas originally, but I came to Cleveland by way of Philadelphia and Los Angeles, and I ended up here for art school in the early 2000s, and I never left. So I've been here about 21 years now, and I started my handmade fashion clothing company in 2010, and it's just been slowly building and growing ever since. So yeah, a big part of what we do and why we do what we do is we make clothing, right? We manufacture, we design and we produce and we sell the clothing we make. So we're a vertical manufacturer. But a big why of what we do is our biggest why is to help women achieve more. So
Okay.
our clothing really is aimed at women who are in the workspace, high achieving, intelligent, executive women who are kicking ass in their careers. And our job is to make them look and feel their best with as much ease and confidence and comfort as possible with the least amount of friction to be able to achieve that. So we help them achieve more because, you are what you eat and you dress for the job you want, and the clothing that we make women really gives them the confidence and the comfort and the emboldened style to really be able to do their best.
I love it. I love it. Now, a couple of things you said I find interesting. You've been here 21 years and you've had a roundabout twisting way from Texas all the way to Cleveland. I'm
Yeah,
assuming you went to the Cleveland Institute.
I did.
of
Yeah,
Art.
I,
Yeah.
I studied illustration.
It's that place has produced some of the top minds in creativity across the country. And I'm happy that it has somebody like you coming through and sharing your skill set and your passion with others. What I liked about what you had to say is for women that are kicking ass in their career, which is great, and making sure they have the comfort and the confidence with an emboldened style that makes them stand out while yet feeling comfortable. So walk me through a little bit about how you get that done. Is it customized or do you create things for people on the go? How does this work for you?
A big part of what we do is really listening to our clients and what their needs are. What are their pain points? What are they missing from the traditional retail fashion world? Most men might not know this, but a lot of women's clothing does not come with pockets. And most women will tell you that that's an abomination to not have pockets in any garment made for women, because as we all know, women have to do a million and one jobs, and we often have to have 8 arms when we only have two that are given by God, right? But especially if you have kids and especially if you're running your own business and you're also trying to take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health, manage a household, like you're managing a lot of different spinning plates and wearing 20 different hats. So you better believe your garment, your coat, your pants, your dress has to have pockets, minimum of 2, maximum of 5 to be able to function in the world today. So yeah, that's how we start. We start by listening to our clients, what their pain points are, and then designing based on function. But also, we really try hard to design based on what we know is going to be seasonless, but also it's going to transcend trends and fads. So, we don't, women for ages since the dawn of time have been shopping because it's fun, but also shopping because they want something interesting and new to wear. But it's not sustainable. Women don't have the time, especially high achieving executive women. They don't have the time to go shopping often, and when they do, they're typically buying online or maybe having someone buy for them. And not only that, but it's just not great for the planet to be buying on a rotating schedule all the time. Like one might think that people would assume that as a person who makes clothing that we want people to buy as much as possible. And while that may be true to some degree, we'd rather them buy our pieces, which are better quality, and buy fewer of them, but they'll last them longer over time. And that will keep them coming back to us for other services, for other products they might need to upgrade their wardrobe. But I've never been an advocate of just buying more just because. Like when you have an event to go to, don't go buy a new dress, shop your closet or borrow from a friend or rent the runway, right? When you have to go to big conference, like if what you have in your wardrobe doesn't work for you, yeah, come to us and we'll help you find something that will work for you for years to come. But there's no sense in buying new just because you have a new gala or party or event to go to. So a big part of what we do is making garments that we know will be just as stylish now as it will in 10 years. And because we've been in business for 14 years, we've been able to prove that. We have several styles that we've been making since 2010 that are just as popular now, if not more, than they were 10 years ago.
Am I safe to assume that great style and good quality lasts forever? Is that a statement I could put in your own words?
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
definitely can. Yeah, I don't think that there are some things that will never go out of style, like a good pair of jeans and a great moto jacket, black, like black will, no one will ever say, oh, I hate black. Like, I don't care how many times someone says orange is the new black or pink is the new black or whatever. Black is black. Like everyone loves it and wears it. And if I had a
Yeah,
dollar for every time someone was like, oh, but I wear so much black, wear what works for you.
absolutely. That makes sense to me. The the store experience when somebody walks into Yellowcake, how would you best describe that?
I would describe it as inviting. It would be warm. It would be, I think the word might be inclusive seems like a very hipster buzzword to use, but we try really hard or we work very hard to be as inclusive as possible, not just in sizing, not just in, style and silhouette, but also, in the people that walk through our door, just making sure that they know they feel welcome. So we have a handful of trans clients that shop with us, and for them shopping in a women's boutique can be a really scary first time experience. We have a lot of clients that are differently abled and they have, either walkers or they're in wheelchairs or, maybe they are, have certain impairments that need to be accommodated and fashion hasn't accommodated them in the past. So we really work hard to let our clients know when they come shop with us that all are welcome, all are accepted, and all will be seen and spoken with and talked to and worked with in the same manner as the next person. So I don't really care
Yeah.
how much I have or don't have. I tell all of my team members that when anyone sets foot in our store or in our booth at a retail event or in any shopping experience that we're popping up at, never judge a book by its cover because, Donna could come into our booth wearing cutoff shorts and a tank top, and she could be a CEO on her vacation wanting to shop for, her next big convention that she has to speak at. And we could have, Karen coming in with her Louis bag and her, super sparkly, rings and bangles. And she might be, a woman who's trying to keep up with the Joneses that can't support our price point because she didn't budget properly. So, we try really hard to make sure that we're treating everyone the same, regardless of what we think we might assume about them.
I like that. That's the best way to have a really good experience with your customer base because when they walk in, they're welcomed and they feel as if not necessarily that you're going to bow to them, but it feels like they have an opportunity to be a part of something that it's a community as opposed to just I'm going to go buy something, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I want to ask a little bit about the type of people that you have working with you. You made comment a couple times about your team members. So
Sure.
when you're looking to staff, what kind of person are you looking for?
First and foremost, I'm always looking for a person that is a great problem solver, someone who's a creative thinker in finding solutions, because that's really something you can't teach. I'm also looking for a person that's, I think like everyone in small businesses, that's a hard worker, because, a lot of people that have only worked in corporate America, they might assume working for a small business is easy because it's small, but it's quite the opposite. Working for a small business is much
Mhm.
harder. You can't kind of fall in to the numbers. You can't hide among the masses. You can't just clock in and keep your head down and do the work and expect not to ever be bothered with. Like in small business, everything is seen and it's all hands on deck all the time. So yeah, we need someone that's a hard worker, someone that can roll with the punches, someone that is open to default to open, right? Open to new ideas and solutions and working with that.
I want to, you said default to open.
Hmm?
Explain that for us.
So my business coach that I started working with about a year and a half ago, he has this mantra. He says, always default to open, because it's very easy for small business owners to get in their own way because we're used to doing things our way, right? But when we hire team members, we hire them for their skills and for their minds and for their capacity and abilities. And if we don't always set our default to be open, then we might continue getting in our own way and not really utilizing our team members for their maximum potential because we're constantly either
Yeah.
shutting them down or not taking their ideas or always sticking to our old habits that maybe didn't work for us. And that's always been a big challenge for me. But really, I've been working my ass off trying to just continuously default to open because there are probably more times than I can count where my team is going to be right. And I've probably, I'm the person biggest mess and I can provide, put on the most pressure, and so I have to really be conscious of that.
Yeah, one thing I believe a small business owner needs to possess more than any other quality is the quality of humility,
Sure.
knowing that you're not
Yeah.
the smartest person in the room. There's plenty of things that you could learn, and
Yeah.
relying on a team of people is probably one of the smartest things you can do. But everybody wants to do everything because it's their business, right?
Right.
But it's a tough one to handle. It's a tough one to let go of.
Yeah.
With this kind of mindset, Valerie, what would you suggest are the secrets to your success?
Well, first of all, sorry about the dogs. You can hear my dogs. I have two husky
Oh,
shepherds, and like I don't know what's going on outside, but they're losing their minds. But
they
uh,
want to be interviewed too.
yeah, probably an ambulance or something. Uh, so the secret to my success, I have a hard time even saying that out loud because I still don't quite feel successful. We haven't hit a lot of the big benchmarks that I want to hit yet. So in my mind, I'm just like, oh yeah, we're like a mild success. But the secret to our continued growth and the secret to our consistency and persistence in our industry is that, yeah, I keep trying new things. If something doesn't work, then we try something new, and if something does work, then we try to do more of that. But yeah, I would say humility definitely plays a big part of it, and that's also been a challenge for me, because in the beginning when I started my business, I was really just needing money to pay my bills, right? I started
Hmm.
it, and people responded well to what I was making and selling. And so I said, okay, well, then I guess I'll just keep doing this thing. I just literally kept putting one foot in front of the other. But when it was time to start hiring people and bringing people into the team with me, I started with sewers first. Sewers were the first people I hired, and they were all independent contractors, but I still had to treat them almost like full-time employees because I was keeping them in,
Mm.
I was giving them work that was full-time equivalent. So the main thing is, treating them like human beings and being gracious where you need to be, and offering incentives and bonuses that make sense that I would want myself. And I still, for the most part, I used to be the lowest paid employee on my payroll until just this year. Um, and I'm not the highest paid by any means. Like, we have a new business manager we're bringing in that's probably going to be our highest paid employee, but that's also something important to me is hiring people on my team that are smarter than me. And for
Hmm.
me, if they can help me make more money so that I can have more financial freedom, so that I can spend more time with my kids, so that I can actually take a real vacation someday soon, that's the world of a difference to me. Like, I don't care
Yeah.
how I look. I'd rather all of my team members be smarter than me. And my goal is to be able to give them all the autonomy and all the reins and the confidence to, kind of do the work that they want to on their own, and all the freedom to do what they do best, so that I don't have to be so tied to my business.
Smart. And that's an excellent way to approach owning your business and what you're trying to get to. Because I would assume everybody like yourself starts a business with the idea in mind that you're going to make money doing
Sure.
something you really enjoy doing, right?
Right.
Right. Nobody joins or starts a business thinking, I'm going to go to work every day, right? So you're on the pathway to making the most out of this opportunity and the experience of being a business owner. So kudos to you. With that, I'm going to ask you, if you were to go back to the 18-year-old Valerie, what advice would you give yourself?
Ugh, I would have told myself to start investing my money like when I was 12. You know, uh, it sounds very
Okay.
salesy and very MLM-y, but I do think I don't think I know that a lot of women are turned off by investing because it's over their heads, because it seems complicated, it seems risky, or they don't know enough about it. And the investing world in general, I think purposely, because it's male dominated, has done that on purpose to kind of gatekeep. And women weren't even allowed to have their own credit card or sign off on their own home or a loan without the permission of their spouse or their father until like 1970. So like my mom wasn't able to do things like that when I was a kid. I mean, and I think a lot of women have really been excluded from the finance world, strictly because like I hate to actually, no, I don't hate it. I'm not going to even say sorry for this. I'm not trying to get on some patriarchy soapbox. I don't hate the patriarchy, but there's a lot wrong with it, and I think a lot of it has kind of been an assault against women to be able to climb the corporate ladder and excel in what they need to be able to be financially independent, because oftentimes women are only thought to be good enough for two things: birthing children and marrying. And how to own property and have careers and vote and do the things that mattered. That's when women were like, holy shit, we should be allowed to have our access to our own finances and bank accounts. So yeah, investing is huge. Like if I had the luxury of time on my side and I had been investing my money since I was 12, like I was selling candy to my peers in middle school. Like I first $100, I remember I had it in a glass jar. I made my first $100, and I think in 7th or 8th grade. And my mom bought me like this bulk candy at Sam's Club, and I was taking orders on a Monday and fulfilling them on a Tuesday. And I was doing drawings for people. I was whatever people would pay me for that was, that I could do at that age without, breaking laws. I would do it. And I
Thank you for the clarification, Valerie.
I wish that someone had taught me. I wish my parents had taught me. They didn't know any better. They were immigrants, right? I wish that they had taught me to invest my money, even just a little bit, like scrolling away even $5 a week. Compound interest will work for you and not against you if you use it in the right way. And like an 18-year-old setting aside $5 a week now is going to outsave me or out earn me, outgrow me in their interests and their investments than I can, even if I invest $500 a week now. I'm 42. By the time I'm 62, that money's not going to compound fast enough. But having the luxury of time on your side, like you better believe my daughters are already investing right now, and they're only 7 and 3. So that's what I would have. Invest your money now. Work your ass off.
That's a great piece of advice, not only for a young 18-year-old self, but a business owner trying to find the best way or the best pathway in their business to make sure that they have the resources and the opportunities necessary to build a business.
Right.
What is it that you see Yellowcake Shop doing? Are there multiple locations? Are you expanding? Will you franchise? How do you, I don't think franchise is the right word, but how do you see the next iteration of your business?
That's a really good question. I think I'm hoping once my new business manager comes on board that she's kind of the key puzzle piece to helping us figure that out. But in my mind, I would love for Yellowcake to grow to more national visibility. Even though I was on a national reality competition, even though we've been around for nearly 14 years, we still don't have even the local or regional visibility that we should have. Like the first 7 or 9 years of my business, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was flying by the seat of my pants, not really making the best use of my time or resources. Even though we were still profitable every year and we were making good work, I wasn't keeping track of expenses or budgeting or setting goals. I wasn't really running a business the way you should run a business. I don't think anyone ever really does in the beginning, but for me, it took me for like the first 7, 9 years, I wasn't doing it well or properly. Yeah. And so I would really love for Yellowcake to have more national visibility, to, become more of a staple, at least in some the regions where I know we do well, the Midwest, Chicago, DC, Philadelphia, New York. And yeah, if we can become, a company that's, bringing in millions in revenue, that would be ideal. Like we still haven't hit that $1 million mark yet. And we should with the amount of time I've been in business, we should, but I'm trying hard to reconcile that information and not dwell on it so much and just pursue what I know we can control and pursue now. So I don't know if that's more locations retail wise. But I think e-commerce is an area where we want to really strive to pursue harder and with more, I guess, strength and force, I guess. Maybe those are the wrong words, but
You're
Yeah,
fine. You're fine.
yeah.
I think the idea of being online with a custom design manufacturing shop like your own has its unique qualifications for entry, but I think
Mhm.
the rewards would be rather stylish. They would be robust for you because if you're looking to branch out outside the Midwest, the areas you identified, it does make sense to have people see exactly what you're doing and
Right.
and get a chance to tap into that. So I wish you well in that. Um, Anything you want to say as we close up? You've had a great opportunity, and I really appreciate you taking the time. But man, there's countless notes I've taken, and there is a
Oh,
lot of words that were said today. So I appreciate you
yeah.
spending taking this time with us. Any last words of wisdom that you want to make sure people get a chance to hear?
Yeah, my dad always used to tell me this, and I used to hate when he would tell me, but he always told me life isn't a horse race. And he would tell me
Mm,
that because he never want me to do the job wrong. He wanted me to do it right. And he didn't want me to rush it and then
yep.
rushing things wrong. And so I think a lot of small business owners, especially younger business owners, they get an idea and they want to just hit the ground running so fast without properly planning. And that's the one thing that I wish I had taken the time to do. I started my business out of necessity. I was a nanny for a family that I loved, and then I lost my job, and then I didn't have a backup, and I needed money, and so I started selling the things I made on Etsy, and it just kind of snowballed little by little over time. But I never had the time, or I never made the time to write a proper business plan, to seek out proper funding,
Mm,
to even see backing was something I wanted to do. And I just really would encourage other small business owners to take the time to write a business plan, make sure that you can support it, make sure that you talk to other business owners. Because a lot of people always assume, yeah, I want to write my own schedule and I want to, just work for myself. And, what's the joke? Like you quit your 9 to 5 to work 80 hours a week as a small business owner. And
yeah.
it's also scary as hell. You're in charge of not only your own payroll, but often the payroll of others and people who have to feed families, and it's a lot of pressure. So yeah, I would say do your due diligence, do your homework, do your research, don't quit your 9 to 5 unless you absolutely can. And then when you can pull the trigger, go for it. But make sure that you've got good advisement on your side. You've got people you can trust, people who've done this before you, people that have the chops to say, yes, I've gone where you want to go, and here's what I learned. Like, don't just talk to your best friend or your mom who is never in their life. Like, talk to people who know what they're talking about. And yeah, never be the smartest person in the room. Like, that's such a great piece of advice, because you might
Yeah.
feel like you're going to learn a shit ton.
Well, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? Isn't that the old
Right.
adage? So go
Yeah.
find a room that you feel stupid and start learning. That's a great piece of advice. Valerie, I want to thank you for your time today. This is awesome. I
Sure.
hope people get a chance to take a listen to the full episode. They get a chance to click the link, learn as much as they possibly can about you, and I will make sure that the address and all and the location information is available as well when we get you posted on the channel. Okay. Thank you so much. It's been great. We'll see everybody on the next episode of the Business Spotlight.